Hello, this is AJ McDonald with McDonald Financial Services. We have Devin Jones here. Today we're going to talk to you about the 7 things to think about before you retire.
Yeah, just 7. We'll just cover 7.
Well, we're just going to talk about the top 7.
The top 7. Best 7.
That's right.
Best of the 7. Number 1.
What kind of lifestyle do you want to live in retirement?
Right, yeah.
So that's important. Not necessarily what age. You know, we've had clients retire. We've actually had some retire in their 40s.
Yeah.
Haven't had that recently, I guess, but certainly in their 40s. But really, it's what do you want to do in retirement? And what we've said in the past and continue to say is when you can physically and mentally do the things that you want to do in retirement.
Yeah, typically that's a little earlier on in retirement. At least that's what we've seen. You tend to spend more the earlier years in retirement and less later. But yeah, I think your lifestyle, kind of getting that figured out, or at least planning around that prior to 4 or 5 years prior to, kind of having a plan in place. Yeah. So that's one of the top 7.
Yep. Number 2 would be having a reliable income source. For those of you that are unaware, you can start collecting Social Security at age 62 today. But your full retirement may not be, like for Devin and me, it's not till we're 67. So that's not going to be a reliable income source if we retire in our 50s.
No. I don't plan on retiring in my 50s.
Good, you're almost out of them.
Sheesh, buddy. Ouch.
Spicy. So what other kind of reliable income sources are there out there? Of course, a pension. Those are not many left out there that we run into. Right. Maybe an annuity, though, that provides a guaranteed income, maybe for life or a set period of time.
Seen those.
Yeah, to bridge maybe up to Social Security.
Rental income.
Another good one.
Lots and lots of folks have rentals, and that's proven to be a very reliable source. Sometimes a headache, but can be a very reliable source of income.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of folks say, hey, you know what, I want to get out of my career. Gonna retire, but then maybe they get a little bored. We got a lot of folks that go maybe work at the golf course, so they're maybe getting a little part-time job. No stress, easy, maybe some benefits, maybe a little bit of a reliable income, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. We've also had those part-time jobs turn into full-time jobs.
We have.
So it does happen.
But that's definitely something to consider is how are you going to live in retirement with income? Or maybe you have a spouse that's working.
Yeah. The next one, how about healthcare before and after Medicare age?
Number 3, big one. That's actually maybe the biggest one. Big question for those of you who are unaware, Medicare kicks in at age 65, assuming you qualify. So if you're retiring prior to 65, how are you going to pay for health care?
Right. It can be expensive. It can be very expensive.
It can be very expensive. It might be more than your mortgage if you have one. So that's a huge consideration is health care. 2025 with the big beautiful bill got rid of the Obamacare or Affordable Care Act subsidies for those low income people. And heck, some of their health care costs have skyrocketed.
Yeah, big time. So
at least in Colorado, you may end up, somebody in their early 60s might spend over $1,000 a month on health care. So, if you have retired from maybe the state and have para health care, that's an option, although it's not inexpensive.
It's not great for your spouse. I know that. It can be very expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe that's a good point. Maybe you have a spouse that has health care that could add you on, but you better factor in what that cost's going to be. It ain't going to be free.
Right.
Or any company I know.
Yeah.
So,
how about connection to that with timing of Social Security? Well, so taking it early, waiting?
Yeah, definitely a consideration like we talked about. You'd start collecting that at 62, or like Devin and I, it's going to be 67. Shoot, our kids might be 70.
It might be. I mean, it may not be there.
Whoa.
I know, crazy thought, but...
yeah, there's software available that we use to help tell you what makes the most sense. Kind of one of those big variables, though, is how long are you going to live?
Life expectancy. Yeah. Yeah. What's family history look like? That's what we look at all the time is life expectancy. What is the family history look like for you? Are you people living in your family longer? Well, if that's the case, yeah, maybe you want to wait. And if not, if your family members tend to die off a little earlier, maybe you want to take that Social Security a little earlier.
Exactly. And to that same point, if dementia or Alzheimer's runs in the family and mom and dad got it in the early 80s, maybe you want to start collecting early and maybe knocking out some of those bucket list items in your 60s.
Enjoy it.
The vast majority of our clients will spend more money traveling and doing those things that they wanted to do in their 60s and 70s and really start slowing down, usually in their 80s. When are you going to enjoy the money? So that's a big one. Yeah.
Tax structure of your accounts?
It's another one.
Yeah.
So
tax-free, tax-deferred, tax-exempt. I mean,
after tax.
There's a lot of different ways that accounts are structured anymore, and
lots of different buckets of money.
Lots of different buckets of money. It's great to have monies in all of those buckets. Honestly, I guess the biggest one is going to be that tax-deferred bucket for most folks. So.
Right. For the majority of people saving in the 401ks, that's generally, of course, you can do a Roth now in there, but historically people would have that all in a pre-tax, so it's going to all be taxable. $1 when you start pulling out.
Right.
So that's definitely a consideration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big surprise to a lot of folks when they get into retirement, and a lot of people think, hey, my income tax bracket's going to be a lot lower.
Maybe not.
Maybe not the case.
Might be the same, might be higher.
Might be higher, honestly.
Yeah. Next item, number 6, would be debt and cash flow.
Yeah, we got lots of retirees that retire with debt.
Yep.
And we've got a fair amount that don't want any of it.
Well, the old story of make sure your house is paid when you retire. What do you think of that?
Well, I tell you what, it's case-by-case basis, because I tell you what, if you've got a mortgage at 2.99% like a lot of people do, I'd rather sell one of my kids than sell that mortgage and get rid of it. So honestly, you can really leverage those types of things and do pretty well in other places. So maybe it doesn't make sense to pay it off.
Exactly. And so to me, it all comes down to cash flow. You got money coming in, you got money going out. And hopefully you got more coming in than you got going out.
Right.
So whether that's with a mortgage or without a mortgage.
Exactly.
Cash flow is really king in retirement. So that's something to be concerned about, but make sure as you're thinking about retiring, worrying about that cash flow, very important.
Yeah.
Last one.
How often should your plan be reviewed?
Well, heck, I think it's a great question. I think at least on an annual basis, you got to make sure, are you on track?
Right. Well, a lot of things, and we mentioned it in an earlier video. One of the biggest things is if there's an inflationary time, you probably want to make sure that plan is up to snuff and that you're planning for those things moving forward, especially if you're in a high inflationary time. So they need to be adjusted for.
And also, the stock market doesn't always go up. Sometimes it goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes it can go down a lot. And when you're building a financial plan, or at least when we do, we put in what we try to look at as a conservative rate of return, but a minus 20% can really kind of pop that balloon.
You better have a place to go if that is the case, where a part of your portfolio is taking a little bit of a beating due to the market.
Exactly. And so having a plan, very important to make sure that during the bad times, good times, everything's happy, rainbows and no problems, but it's really during the bad times, which they come along.
They do, yeah, more frequently than you might think, honestly.
They absolutely. And so making sure you review that plan, at least on an annual basis, make sure, are you on track? Hopefully, maybe even a little ahead, but and if you're behind, I'd rather know that sooner rather than later so you can take some action. Right. So those are the 7 biggest items to think about before you retire. If you have any questions, give the office a call. We'll be happy to talk to you. Thanks for watching.